Please, sir, I did not sign up to watch you play solitaire.
The frick you mean I missed timing?
Privet bratukas! Today we're playing Yu-Gi-Oh! One of the most iconic trading card games of all time. It's been years since the last time I played the game. I'm pretty sure the last time I played the XYZs were like the main summoning mechanic, but I met some people who played recently and decided, okay, let's see how the game cooked while I was gone. So I sat down in one of my local card shops, pulled out one of my decks, dusted it off, you know, had to blow off the dust on it. Except now I'm playing, and it feels like the other guy's playing against himself. But of course, I'm not gonna quit after just a single mishap or two. So now, with a very minor chip on my shoulder, join me, Bratuka, as we become the duelists of all time. My experience with the game was pretty limited, only because I didn't have access to play the game any way that wasn't the physical TCG. But nonetheless, I still played a lot of stuff. I used to play Ghost Tricks, I used to play Fluffles, I used to play Windups, I had a fleeting interest in Maldoches, but because I don't like getting put on a government watch list, I played Heroics on main. Something brain dead because, I hated thinking. All the love in the world, brother man, but it's a game. I either hit you with the big stick, or I don't win.
Alright, so let's see, I get to choose a deck. Tier Lament. Scissors. 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 Okay. Okay, so I have 10 cards just out of my deck. Okay, okay, Scapegoat. Scapegoat! Yeah, another Scapegoat. Go!
You stupid!
Oh, it's my turn again. Okay, so yeah, I've lost over half my deck and it's not even the end of turn 1. But I know if anybody's got me, it's my boy Tiger Axe. Come on, buddy, it's all you. I guess I end my turn.
So yeah, it's back to the drawing board. The game has changed a lot. I've been absolutely washed away by power creep. In basically one turn I was done for, and half of that was my turn. Back in my day, we had to wait like 6 turns just for a perfect moth. But it's obvious we had a ways to go, starting with the mechanics. There are like 5 new mechanics in the game that I had to learn. I only knew these, anything after that is just a complete blank. The weirdest one to me I think would be these link summons, but I think the most versatile would be these pendulums. But it looks like the game has transformed to being a swarm the field with a bunch of monsters, so I need to adapt. How do I get more of my monsters out onto the field? Okay, let's try ultimate offer. Oh, okay, we can't use ultimate offering. Okay, so first I'm gonna get my heroics together because they need me to read the least of what? Pot of Greed got banned? This was legal just 200 years ago. Okay, so maybe I should just switch to my Fluffles. Okay, this one seems to work. Okay, so let's try that again. Now, originally I got completely fried, absolutely no question. And originally I had intended to iterate on the original deck I had, but midway through I realized that would kind of be cheating. See, part of the reason I was doing this would be to simulate that new player experience. What would it be like for you coming into the game and then building a deck? The issue is, by using a deck that I was already somewhat comfortable with, I'm drawing from information that I theoretically should not have access to. Thus, it would not be representative of what you would get as a new player. But at the same time, I can't exactly unlearn something on the fly like that unless you plan on taking an exam anytime soon. So the only real way to simulate that new player experience would be to start completely from scratch using an archetype that I had no familiarity with. But how exactly do I choose an archetype that I have no idea about? I don't know it exists. If only there was a way. So, here's how this is gonna work. I will be using a total of a 2-step process to finding a card. Every card has a set, region, and position under its art. Step 1 is selecting a card set. Right now in the game, there are a total of 72 card sets in the game. Very huge asterisk, just give me a second. So the first thing we're gonna do is by rolling a bunch of dice. Roll 7 dice at base 2 to get a valid set number. We're going to number them in chronological order from release date. Step 2 is to roll another set of 4 dice at base 6 to get a valid deck position. We then begin building using that card's archetype. So because of the way we're doing this, there are going to be a total of 3 rules for these rolls. Rule 1 is that it has to lead to a valid card number. Rule 2 is that the card has to be an archetype, so no generic spells or traps. And rule 3 is that the card selected has to be printed from after 2020. If any of these checks fail, we roll again from the top. Now, the reason I'm choosing 2020 as the hard cutoff date is because power creep is something that's completely unavoidable in any game like this, especially ones that have been running as long as Yu-Gi-Oh! It's nothing against older cards and archetypes, it's just cards that were good in their heyday won't hold a candle to cards by modern standards. Because modern cards have access to tools and abilities that older ones simply don't have, each one is essentially playing a different game. Unless, you got that Konami preferred child treatment and you get another support every 2 to 3 years. Now that the rules have been set, let's go gambling! Alright, this is taking way too long. It might be faster for me to just flip a bunch of coins out. Wait. No, this was produced after 2020. Nope, this is valid. So, I guess we're building Appliancers. So, just as a quick reminder, I am by no means any sort of a deck builder. I'm only just about as good as you. All I'm going to share is my thoughts and logical approaches to how I would problem solve something like this. Do not take it as gospel. So the first thing we want to do is begin by setting up some sort of a constraint value. There are just so many thoughts in your head at any one given time that the best way to keep them relevant is just to create a box to think in, which seems counterintuitive, but it'll make more sense in a second. But for right now, given an infinite amount of sets to work with, the best thing we can do is start by lowering the amount of options that we have to choose from. So, what does that look like? First things first, how many cards are we going to be running in our deck? And that one's a pretty easy win, because taking a look at a lot of the professional decks, all of them seem to be running an average of 40 to 42 cards. I can't exactly just tell you why that is, but I don't exactly know enough to just challenge that, so we're going to be running 42. Something like this is probably not the best thing to overthink on. So now the next step is looking at our deck profile. What exactly is our deck strategized around? Now thankfully, there are only 3 main deck monsters in this archetype, so this is also a pretty easy win. There's not much to understand. Reading them, the first thing I notice is that each card has no stats, but they do have the ability to either special summon themselves or another copy of themselves from the deck. And then the third one is like a double use protection hand trap. Easy. The rest of the archetype is mostly just spells and link monsters, but looking at how the summoning for the main deck monsters work really makes me feel like this is meant to be more of a fodder style of special summoning deck. These guys are just meant to be pitched for these guys. There are already a couple of things that I did notice, especially with the link monsters, but I wanted to play the deck first to confirm the problems. So now we're going to choose 40 cards and fill out the rest of the deck. First things first, guess what? We're going to set up another constraint value. We want to lower the amount of options that we have in order to make sure that we're making somewhat of an informed choice. So we want to begin by filling our deck with anything considered to be a constant. Think your staples in other TCGs, like, I don't know, if you've ever played Magic the Gathering, that would be something like Soul Ring, something that is pretty much common in any commander deck. So after a quick Google search, we're looking at things like Infinite Impermanence, maybe Ash Blossom, things like that. But as I started plopping them in, I did notice if I left it standalone as is, I could only have like 9 monsters in the deck. And that's even with the staples included. But at that point, it did slap me in the face. If it's meant to be a fodder archetype, Is it meant to be as more of an enabler for another archetype? Is it locked to just itself? If that is by design, then why not just run another archetype alongside it? I didn't know enough to confirm this just yet, but I did want to keep that thought in the back burner just in case. I then proceeded to fill it with a bunch of dud cards just to get it valid so I can hurry up and try it out. Trying to choose a secondary archetype this early in its development would be a bad idea because that would effectively set us back to square one. And probably one step even behind that because we don't know what constraint we're looking for. We don't exactly know enough about the game yet to know what should synergize with it. But pressing on.
I bet you didn't see that coming. It's confusing, isn't it? No! I don't know what that means. What are you doing?
Wow.
Zero attack is insane behaviors.
Oh wait, can I do stuff again? I can. Why can't I not link summon?
No, I think I hand trapped it.
Ah! Initially, when I tried it out, it went just about as you could expect. Very poorly. I ended up winning 3 out of 5 games, but it really seems like the other person also didn't know how to use their deck. And honestly, I probably could have won all 5 if it wasn't for basic mechanical mistakes.
Okay, that's a little weird. I can't link summon again? I have like 1.
So the first thing I noticed is that they struggled to beat over other monsters. Even its link summons had mid to low stats, so they struggled to fight over anything that had more than around 2500 in stats. So already that tells me that if I'm going to choose something, it should be something with a higher attacking stat, either in the main or extra deck. And thankfully, because I decided to do it this way, we already have our first constraint. We're looking for something with at least 2500 in stats. Either that or a way to boost up the attacks that we already have.
Another thing that I had noticed with these link monsters is that the link positions that they pointed to were, they were kind of buns. I'd like to think it's more of an intentional balance choice, but since their way of finishing the game was literally ride or die on their positions, I needed more generic extra deck monsters. Ones that weren't reliant on being at like a link 3 maximum, or being put in the wrong positions. But then I also need to consider the off chance that I open the game with no Appliancers because that was another issue. A few of the times I tried, I ended up with either no Appliancers or sometimes no monsters at all. But since the links can only use Appliancers, I need monsters in the extra deck that can do without them. So problem 1 is that we need better beat sticks. Problem 2 is that we need better positional arrows. And problem 3 is that we need better openers. And this is where Google is now our best friend. I know it seems weird to avoid it until now, but I just wanted to keep my thoughts as pure as possible to myself. So first, I'm gonna start this off by removing everything not directly related to the archetype. So I'm gonna get rid of you. Okay, next I could probably get rid of this rat dude because while he does seem nice, he doesn't really do anything that forwards the game plan and his negation effect seems kind of mid. So I'm just gonna put him to the side for now. Wait, when did I put you in there?
Okay, so I want something that won't directly compete for the same, I suppose, resources. So I guess something that can special summon itself. But that seems really, really vague. Okay, they're all machine monsters. They're all level 1s. Okay, so level 1 support and machines. Okay, so definitely more of this 1-for-1 thing, because that one definitely helped a lot with getting more of them out. Okay, so I decided to search some like generic link stuff on Reddit, and I found this one called World Legacy Succession. That one should be okay. Okay, so I still don't have a secondary archetype, so I think what's for the best right now is to just stick with machines. So a machine archetype that can get me up to 2500 attack. Okay, so the first one popping up is desk bots. They look like they play in around the same way, but it looks like they'd be competing for a normal summon. They don't special summon in the same way that these guys do, so it would be you playing one or the other as the turns alternate. So I don't think that's a very good idea. So it's a no for now.
Oh, and then the Appliancers specifically ask for 2 Appliancers. Cyber Dragons? Okay, okay. They meet the attack value. Main guy there special summons himself. This one can also fusion summon, okay. Okay, we're getting somewhere, we're getting somewhere. I don't see an immediate reason just yet as to why I discount them, so I guess we're playing Cyber Dragons. Let's do it. It's definitely not because I'm tired and I just didn't want to waste my time trying to choose another. Your entire field is black. What's going on here?
Hello there.
Actually, no, I was gonna click surrender again, but you know what? I'm gonna just let you finish. I'm gonna walk away though. Okay, run that one back. That one doesn't count. Oh shoot. I did fuck up anyway. At this point, whether I won or not was definitely more of a mixed bag, but I did end up on 2 realizations. So the first thing I had noticed is that I was running the game in parallel. I was running 2 decks at the same time. The issue with this sort of playstyle is that while it does work better in a lot more general situations, rather than leaning into one thing really well, you end up in a situation where you kind of do everything but in a really mid fashion. For the majority of the wins that I did end up getting, it felt like the wins were accomplished by using only a single half of the deck. Anytime you did, it was completely independent of what the other half was doing. The problem with this manifesting is that it implies that each individual part would more than likely work as its own standalone deck instead of just being mashed together into this weird chimera like it is now. The second epiphany moment that I had came in the form of the link monsters I was using. I ended up misreading one of the effects, and as it turns out, as long as he is co-linked, his effect applies to all monsters I had, reducing enemies' attacks to 0. Meaning there already wasn't any monster that I couldn't directly beat by battle. And if you add a defense position monster, they already had the ability baked in to just attack over it. But now knowing this information, the link positions it had made a lot more sense. I just didn't understand enough about why they were doing what they're doing. They weren't awkward at all, I just didn't have enough of an understanding. While each of them on their own was completely mid, they were also completely summonable in a single turn. So it made sense as to why no one singular card acted as a boss monster. Konami just took the traits of what would be a boss monster and split it into 3 separate entities. But because of these soft once per turn effects, it made more sense as to why they gave them these restrictions where they could only summon themselves once per turn, since they could effectively swap between themselves in complete perpetuity. With no restrictions, you could just break past that. Which now understanding that makes it seem like way more of a balanced choice than whatever the heck I was reading on Reddit, because for a lot of the threads I was reading up on, they had theorized that the reason they had these restrictions was so you don't start link climbing turn 1, which to me seemed a bit silly, because the highest link rating they have is 2, but that's the only one that in the archetype that didn't have that restriction. And at the same time, there's nothing stopping you from just using the archetype itself as an engine to get other link monsters out, because they don't have restrictions for what they can link into. Okay, so now what are we gonna do about it? Okay, so first things first is we're going to begin by dropping the Cyber Dragons. Since we don't need their raw brute force anymore, they no longer serve their purpose. Instead of getting them to perform in a way that they normally can't, we should just lean further into what they're already doing. We need staying power, field clearance, and more negations and starters. Dude, this is gonna be so buns.
Royalty. Oh no way, I actually have the bullshit monster. Hell yeah, I have the bullshit monster. Oh yes. Come on, true lights. True lights. Nah, fuck it.
Okay, this doesn't look too difficult to break. Just 2 monsters. Okay. Yeah, this should be easy enough. Domain expansion.
Just still FYI, I can negate anything you have in your hand.
Okay, so if I'm reading this right, I should be able to summon this, then machine dupe it, use my domain over here, get it back, special summon it again, and then Appliancer reuse, yeah? That sounds legitimate. So I think I could one-shot him here, but I think I messed up. in either what I summoned or where I summoned. But no matter, open field.
Neo as a
Oh, why not? Let's attack him. The loner. Oh, he actually has a. That's BS. That's straight away BS.
I don't care, a win's a win. You're about to get beat with a toaster.
So, would I ever do something like this again? Haha! No! Don't get me wrong, I still had loads of fun with the game. It just feels like, at this point, maybe I don't understand enough about it, but at every single turn, it felt like this deck was meant to play against itself. I don't know what's wrong with these appliancers. Just give me one good boss monster, please, something I can understand. But either way, I did have my fun doing this. Just let me know if you want to see more of this. Just let me know if there's anything else you wanted me to try. Cause I'm not gonna lie, this was pretty fun.